Hello guys, I'm Ru and you're with my channel. Welcome to my mind. And today's video is the first book versus movie video in this channel. I'm so excited. Let's jump right in. The Maze Runner series have made quite a name for itself in the book world as much as in the movie world. It took me some time to get to the books, but I finally did, and I actually marathon the books and the movies, which is something I very rarely get to do. What I did is read the first book and then to watch the first movie and then the second book, second movie, and so on. And in retrospect, that is exactly the wrong way to go with this series. The movies made quite a lot of changes and brought a lot of characters and plot developments way early into the story, which means lots of spoilers. I had never experienced such things, so many differences, so I thought this was gonna make the perfect book versus movies video. But since the changes were quite a lot, and if I made a video about every single change, it will be almost as long as the movies, so I just picked 10 major differences between the book and the movies that changed my experience with the story. So let's jump into the different ones. The maze in the books is kind of like its own organism because it changes a lot, and its changes form symbols, and those symbols are later used to crack the password to open, the door to get out of the maze. In the movies, they simply have numbers on the walls that serve as a password, and then they use a key that they find on the grievers. I'm gonna give this one to the books because the maze in the books is much more complicated, kind of like a labyrinth, kind of like a riddle itself, much more interesting. So, in the books, Teresa and Thomas are telepaths and can communicate with each other, which kind of brings a lot to the table and is used for a lot of character development. That understandably is missing from the movies, but I kind of liked it, so yeah, point books again. After the first book, Teresa and Thomas get separated and we don't really know what the hell she was up to in the Scarlet trials. In the movies, they spend a lot of time together. Here the point is gonna go to the books again because her absence is very important for Thomas's evolution, in my opinion, and plus, not the biggest Teresa fan, so not having her around was fine by me. In the movies, the Scorch trials were kind of like a graveyard. It's just a place that they dump all the infected, and that is it. In the books, the Scorch is actually the second part of the trial, so yeah, it makes more sense, it's much more interesting, so point books again. The book don't have a sure thing. In the movies, Teresa signals Wicked as to their location, and as a result, a lot of the gliders get captured. In the books, however, Teresa only pretends to be portraying Thomas and no one else by playing girlfriend to Iris. In fact, in the end of the second book, the gliders are actively looking for Wicked. The whole kissing and romantic drama was so hard to get through, so this point is gonna go to the movies. In the books, the gang faces yet another metal monster as a final test and is taken by Wicked, willingly. The movies, however, go a completely different way by introducing the Right Arm, a rebellious group that comes much later in the third book. All of them are captured, which leads to a lot of fight scenes, and eventually at the end, Thomas, Newt, Frightpan, Brenda, and George remain free. I didn't like that the Right Arm comes so early, but to be honest, it felt kind of nice. It felt kind of good seeing Thomas finally making a point, making a stand, standing up against the people who basically enslaved him. So movies win this round. The Resistance is much different in the movie. They portray themselves as a fearless group of rebels with all the right morals and all the right ideas. In the books, they're much more vicious and far less moral. In fact, the group that in the movies Gally is a part of is much more like the Right Arm in the books, minus the zombie thing. Here I'm gonna go with the books because having such a nice moral group just doesn't seem to fit in with the world of the Maze Runner, so it doesn't make any sense to me. So books win. In the movies, saving Minha from Wicked is Thomas's driving force and, you know, the whole plot of the Death Cure. In the books, everyone is captured in the beginning of the third book, and then Thomas and Minha escape together and remain together throughout the book. Trying to save their best friends kind of gives a reason for all that running around, and in fact decreases the running around, which I honestly enjoyed, so point movies. In the movies, Newt gives Thomas a note that he opens at the end, and reading that note kind of serves like a farewell to the whole series. A nice ending to the story. In the book, there's no such thing. The note is not cute, it's actually quite dark.
Kill me.
I don't care about the whole nice ending thing, I truly don't. But at least in that scenario, the note had a purpose. It had a point. I love Newt. I do. But if you want your friends to kill you before the disease takes over, just say it! Over dramatic. At the end, the final battle takes place into the maze, and in that way, the story comes full circle. At least that's how Dashner envisioned it. The movies didn't share that particular vision because the maze was left to dust after the first movie. I quite enjoy the idea of going back to where it all began. I mean, it's called The Maze Runner. It gave name to the series, so point books. That means that the book won. However, I quite enjoy the movies. So the bottom line is, books are almost always better, but movies gives us another opportunity to experience the story in a new way. So don't deprive yourselves of it. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more talks about books and movies and TV shows and beers and travel. And if you do so, I'll see you next time.